Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Near Protocol. I got a lot of requests for this, asking why it's bouncing back here today, and we'll find out exactly the reason for that. Also, bear in mind, we're not a financial advisor. If you're new to the channel, I love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. My passion is to help people become better traders. So I've been trading for over 16 years, and I hope that you can learn as much as you possibly can here. If you do want to learn a lot more, I have a trading academy, of course. It teaches you every step of the way how to become a better trader, as well as a trading community and signal group where I send out signals for every single trade that I take. And we've been getting some massive shorts here recently. So it's been a pretty good experience all in all. You can still make money on a downtrend. You just need to understand and establish which direction it's heading. And lately, of course, Bitcoin's been giving us nothing but bearish signals. So obviously altcoins like these are getting hit hard, and we need to kind of understand how much further they can go. A lot of it boils down to volume. So we'll take a look at the volume, of course, the volume profile, kind of see what it looks like here in general for Near Protocol. But overall, at this point, I wouldn't say we're in dire straits by any means. We are still continuing this ascending trend line, as weird as it sounds. We've been maintaining this for quite some time, maybe about 6 to 9 months is a rough estimate there. And we can see that the price is just slowly averaging itself out. We got 650, 740, as well as 840. And if the price comes down any lower, we'll see 940 as a potential bounce. So it is continuing to progress higher. Most coins are not even exuding this behavior right now. So keep that in mind. Obviously, it's down almost, 40, almost 50% perhaps in the last week. Terrible. Don't get me wrong. This is very terrible. It's very unfortunate. And we blew through all the potential support levels of the resistance, or which are now resistance levels, rather. Let's talk about that really quick here. In fact, let's go ahead and remove this and create a new Fibonacci retracement, just so we can get perspective on what's going on. But if we look at both moving averages, they're averaging out at these different Fibonacci retracement levels. So right around 12, we could just say round number $12 is where the 200-day SMA is at. That could work as a potential resistance. Then, of course, the 50 as well at $14. So we got this $12 to $14 range here. That's going to be probably a strong resistance level. I'd be surprised if it shoots right straight through there. If it does, that's going to be a very, very good sign. But keep in mind, a pretty hard sell-off here. It's going to take a little while to recover from that. Okay. But generally speaking, we're not looking terrible at this point. The reason why I feel that way is because I recall looking at the volume profile a while back, and there being a lot of volume right at this point. And we can see, of course, tremendous amount of volume between $8 and $11, but a strongest amount of accumulation, including yesterday and today's trading data at $11.50. Okay, so that's pretty important. That's pretty huge. That's roughly right where the price is at right now. So I would say this could very well and should very well be the bottom based on the overall volume profile. Again, this is just kind of the overall volume as a rough estimate in the last 6 to 9 months. It's not necessarily a guarantee it's going to hold, but it does give us that certainty that we're entering a zone that a lot of other people have entered into, and they feel it's a good value, and therefore the average true range should continue to increase from there. It should work as a support. Okay, there's a lot of different schools of thought there, but I think volume is probably one of the most I don't know. It's underrated, I guess you could say. Not a lot of people use it. So anyways, taking a look here at the moving averages, we've got the 50 and the 200 working its way down. Obviously, this is pretty par for the course when you have a significant sell-off like this. So I think our first major milestone would be to close above the 50-day SMA. Something along the lines of, pretty close to about $12. What that would do is that'd put us above the 200-day SMA on the one-day chart. So to me, those are both very positive things that we want to try to look at here for Near Protocol. We also got a pretty significant bounce off the RSI here, and I'm a firm believer too, if you've seen any of my other videos, that 70 or 30 on the RSI, on the 4-hour more specifically, are stronger resistance and support levels, and you oftentimes see a pretty significant bounce. Now, again, that's not true at all in some cases, because if you look back here, when it came down here, it just kept going lower. But you've got to understand the overall sense of the way that the market was, and that Near was overextended prior to that anyways. All right. Now that we're underextended, so to speak, we've hit that state of exhaustion, we can see the price wanting to turn around. Speaking of exhaustion, let's see if we can kind of identify that and kind of see. If we look back here, we hit a 9 on TD sequential, got a little dead cat, came all the way back down, got a bunch of resets down to another 9, and then all the way down to a 4. So we're at a 2 right now. In other words, the possibility of seeing Near Protocol continue to decrease over the next few hours, perhaps even a day or two, is higher than it is for the price to come lower. Once again, based on volume support, and that's pretty much the main thing. Also, we do have that trend line trending around 950/$10. So I do think we're in somewhat of a support channel. We just need to recognize that 12 to 14 would be probably a pretty strong resistance level. That being said, if we are 2 4-hour candlesticks in, basically an 8-hour time frame, we might be overexhausted to an extent, but the likelihood of the continuation is greater. In other words, we're at a 2. We could even see somewhere upwards of a 9 where the price comes up and closes above that $12 price point, which would be advantageous. So a close above 12 would be awesome. But more importantly, a close, I would say, above 11.57 would be the first immediate thing that we want to focus on, because that would break this lower high and lower low pattern. If you can see here, we got lower lows and we got lower highs. If this high right here cannot break this most recent high, then we're still in a descending type of trend. Okay. The way to identify not necessarily a breakout, but a transition from a downtrend to sideways action is to establish higher highs. That's the first major thing. And then inevitably higher lows as well. But we'll start with higher highs for the moment. So again, a close above 1160, just as a round number, would be advantageous today. And then of course we can see that slow continuation to the upside from there as a possibility. Again, we got the 50-day SMA working its way down. This could very well work as a resistance too. So again, 12 to $14 is a strong resistance channel. It's got a lot of different moving averages kind of hanging out right there, and those should pose somewhat of a potential problem moving forward. So again, 4-hour doesn't look great, but it looks much better than it did before. A nice recovery, but we're not out of the woods completely just yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so some positive here, of course. Taking a look though at the cloud, we're probably, we're still below, trying to break into the cloud, but getting tentatively rejected. So we'll see here soon if we can break above the cloud. That'd be a pretty big deal to get back up above. But again, you want to have firm confirmation above that in order to ensure that you're on the right side of the tracks. So again, we're not quite there yet, but we're definitely looking good. TD sequential tells us we hit a 9 right here recently. Didn't quite get a full-on reset, and we're back up to it. But there was a decent amount of consolidation here, so this next leg up is warranted. And it's very common to see multiple 9s in a row to the upside on the 1 hour. A little less common on the 4 hour. So that being said, we're at a 2 on the 4 hour, basically telling us we have 7 times 4, essentially, right? 7 times 4, that's 28 hours of essential continuation of the upside potential, all right? Is that going to happen? Hard to say. This does look like it's overextending itself a little bit, but once again, it's doing very well in the overall sense of things. But we got to understand, Bitcoin is just kind of trending right at 38,000. It's just kind of hanging out there. And that is a point in which, it's a significant area of support, but also if we lose that bottom, coins like this could get damaged a little further. Right? I don't think we're going to lose this trend line, of course, around 950, but generally speaking, we got to be prepared for that. So I like to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. I think that's important to do that. And in this case, let's remain optimistic that we're going to see a nice recovery here today. But on the same accord, it's hard to say. So either way, that being said, I hope that you learned something here today. And I think that in the overall sense of things, we'll be able to take a look at this here and continue to see some increases from here. It's looking more positive than negative, but we don't have confirmation just yet. A firm close above $12 would be a very, very good start. All right, well, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time.